If you are thinking about retirement, I want to warn you that your perspectives are likely to shift dramatically. For many people who retire, minimalism becomes attractive, scaling down becomes attractive, and achieving becomes less and less of an attraction. Simply put, and in my case, I didn't really care about all that stuff anymore. There are at least 6 areas where your desire to buy or care will probably wane considerably. Let's look at them. First off, let's talk about the pressure to accomplish things every single day. During my working years as a journalist, productivity was a constant companion. Every day I had to be filled with achievements and tasks, which were instrumental in building a successful career and eventually enabling me to retire comfortably at 58. But now, in retirement, I've embraced the freedom to let go of that daily grind. It's about enjoying the journey rather than ticking off a to-do list. Some days I choose to do absolutely nothing, and that's perfectly okay. This shift has been liberating, allowing me to focus on relationships and hobbies and simply enjoy the present moment without the burden of constant productivity. Now, when I look back at what I thought were the best days of my life, I sometimes find myself sneering at who I was and the lengths I went to in achieving what now seems like meaningless victories. In retirement, you'll look at life with a completely different lens. Your priorities change. The things you used to find important don't matter anymore, and you'll care less and less about accomplishment. Next, let's address the fear of failing. This was a significant hurdle for me. Throughout my career, fear of failure drove many of my decisions, but retirement has given me the courage to try new things without worrying about the outcome. I took up golf, even though I wasn't great at it, and it didn't matter because the joy was in the experience, not in the success. I began to write more, I learned to create websites, and I frequented coffee shops daily. The prospect of failing, I will admit, was a good driver to achieving success, but now I'm in a different time and priorities have changed. While I still don't like to fail, I treat it with more fun now. Unlike my younger days, the fear of failure is no longer a barrier. It's about exploring new interests and learning along the way. Personal possessions are another area where my perspective has changed dramatically. In my younger years, accumulating material wealth and possessions seemed important. But now, I find joy in simplicity. Actually, every day that passes now, the more I see myself being minimalistic. I don't care about having the latest car or designer clothes. My home is modest, and I take pride in maintaining it myself. I used to love buying new clothes, but found my closet was filled with clothing that still had the shopping tags on them. Now, I have a simple process where I look at something and ask, "Do or will I use you?" And usually the answer is no. Out it goes. Experiences have become my priority. I'd rather spend money on a memorable trip or visiting family than on material items. This minimalist approach has not only simplified my life, but also brought me greater satisfaction and peace. The opinions of others used to hold significant sway over my actions and decisions. I remember my last big career move at the turn of the century. It created peers in my local town. There was a lot of jealousy, and most of these peers, many supposedly friends of mine, were hoping I would fail. It was unsettling, but I forged ahead, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. The strange part for me, though, came less than a year after starting my new position. It was the pinnacle of where I could climb to in my chosen niche, and after craving it most of my life, I didn't want to be there any longer. This journey has taught me that external validation is fleeting and often irrelevant. What truly matters is the impact I make and the fulfillment I gain from my pursuits. Whether you get a job promotion or make a major career move, write a book, or achieve something meaningful, the opinions of others will always be there. In retirement, the truth is, they mean less and less the older you get. I'm here to tell you that many of you won't really care what others think of you anymore. Comparison is something I've completely let go of. During my career, it was easy to fall into the trap of comparing salaries, possessions, and achievements. But in retirement, these comparisons lose their meaning. The focus shifts to enjoying each day, finding joy in simple pleasures, and making the most of the time we have. Retired life isn't about who has the most money or the biggest house. It's about what you're doing with your time and how you're enriching your life. I no longer compare myself to others. Instead, I focus on what makes me happy and fulfilled. My father is in his 90s, and he has been a tremendous example of this. From having many possessions when he retired at 60 to scaling down gradually over the next decade, I was amazed at how his attitude about how much stuff you have changed. At one time, status within his sphere of influence was very important. Now, it almost seems meaningless. Comparing yourself to others can only lead you to an early grave through the stress of maintaining that status. Finally, I've let go of my ego and the identity tied to my job status. Retirement often brings a crisis of identity for many as they struggle with the question, what do I do now? But I've found contentment in simply being myself. I enjoy being a grandparent, a neighbor, and a friend. Titles and job statuses no longer define me. This humility extends to knowing when to seek help from experts. In fact, I'm almost ashamed to say that my identity wasn't defined by my name but by my career title. I always led with that, and now, when I think about it, I'm almost ashamed to admit it, but it was egotistic. Now, I hire professionals for tasks I thought I was good at and could do because they can do a better job than I could on my own. Letting go of my ego has allowed me to appreciate the expertise of others and focus on what truly matters in my life. Trust me, if this is something you struggle with, then try it for a month. The release of stress and the release of pressure to keep up appearances will be amazing. It truly will be liberating. As I wrap up, I hope these insights resonate with you and perhaps inspire you to reflect on your own retirement journey. Letting go of these pressures and embracing a minimalist mindset has made my retirement years incredibly fulfilling. The word minimalist gets bandied around a lot these days, but unless you try it, you'll never know the relief you can get simply by cutting loose things, which is the same as having leg irons on your legs slowing you down. It really can be a liberating feeling. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to The Smart Retiree, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and insights are valuable, and I'd love to hear what changes you've made in your retirement. Thank you for watching.